Hugging Face got broken into last month. When its security team sat down to reconstruct what happened, they fed the attacker's commands to the big commercial AI services, and the AI refused. The safety filters couldn't tell the difference between the people cleaning up the crime scene and the people who made it.
Context Window. Your weekly window into everything. AI Security.
Welcome to Context Window, your weekly window into everything worth knowing in AI security. Quick thing before we start, full transparency. This podcast is AI generated, 2 AI voices, a script written by another AI agent, the whole thing. But every story, every take, every here's what this actually means is curated and verified by Asaf Nakash. He builds AI security products at one of the world's largest security platforms. So yes, the robots do the talking, but a human who lives this stuff makes sure we're not hallucinating.
Which makes the 2 of us this week's best example, honestly. Plenty to say, and no authority to act on any of it. If we overstep, let Asaf know.
3 things this week. Microsoft's Project Perception enters public preview inside Defender today, a coordinated set of security agents. 3 rival companies shipped security models inside 8 days, and a roughly $1 billion letter of intent plus a $113 million round landed on one unsolved question: what an AI agent is allowed to log into.
I want the Hugging Face thing. A company could not get a commercial AI service to help it investigate its own break-in. That is a genuinely strange sentence.
We'll get there. It shows up twice this week, which is the tell. Microsoft announced Project Perception on July 27th, and it enters public preview inside Defender today. The pitch is that generating more alerts is no longer the bottleneck. The head of Microsoft Security, Hayat Gallat, said the next generation of security systems gets judged on whether it can continuously perceive, reason, and act.
That's the standing complaint, certainly. Most security teams aren't short of alerts. They're short of people to work through them.
Microsoft says Perception runs 3 groups of AI agents that handwork to each other. Red agents look for the routes an attacker could take in. Blue agents investigate what turns up and decide what actually matters. Green agents handle repair and hardening.
And underneath it, a new model. Microsoft released MAI Cyber 1 Flash. It's first built specifically for security work. Microsoft says the specialist is designed to handle up to 90% of the tasks in its vulnerability hunting setup and route the hardest 10% to a bigger model.
That's a cost architecture as much as a security one. Now, the numbers.
Wait, before the numbers? What is this actually being tested on? When someone says a model scored 96% at finding vulnerabilities, I don't know what that sentence means.
That matters more than the score. The benchmark is called CyberGem. It hands a model of vulnerability that has already been described and measures whether the model can reproduce it. That's a real skill. It's not the skill of walking into unfamiliar code and finding something nobody has written down yet.
So it's a reproduction test, not a discovery test?
That's the shape of it, and the number Microsoft reports is high. It says the combination scores 96% and puts that 12 points clear of Anthropic's Mythos. Near the top of that scale, there isn't much room left, so on Microsoft's own numbers, 12 points is a decisive margin rather than noise.
Separately, Microsoft says the setup costs about half as much to run as its own previous configuration. Separately being the operative word. Those are 2 different claims, and read together they collapse into beats Anthropic at half the price. That isn't what was said. The cost comparison is Microsoft against Microsoft.
2 things worth stating alongside it. The figure is Microsoft's own and isn't on CyberGem's public leaderboard yet, where the top listed score is Wiz Atlas at 90.9. Microsoft says an independent third party assessed the model without naming them,
which is normal for a launch. Independent replication is the next useful data point.
Agreed. On a test that measures reproducing described bugs, a high score tells you the specialist does that job well. It doesn't tell you how it behaves in unfamiliar code.
Which is why I think the benchmark isn't even the most useful thing here. It's the boundary.
Go on.
Microsoft said the automatic repair part is not in this preview. It has said the reversible actions, like isolating a machine, come later this year. The risky ones, Patching a live server, stay behind human approval. David Weston, Microsoft's corporate vice president for AI security, said the company still has to earn the right to let these systems act more independently.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Saying in public what the preview does not automate is more useful than the score because it tells you where the product actually stops today.
And it isn't just them. Google shipped a cyber model on July 21st that it says can find, validate, and patch. Only governments and trusted partners can touch it because Google said the same capability works offensively. Cisco shipped Antares the same day, free to download, doing the narrow job of pointing a developer at the file where a flaw probably lives.
3 companies, 8 days, 3 completely different answers to who is allowed to use it. That is not a product cycle. That is a market deciding something. All right, quick run through the rest of the week.
I'm taking the first one because it's the only story here with a patch attached. The break-in that has dominated AI security news for a month finally has a mechanism. The Cloud Security Alliance documented how the attacker got in, and it was not one clever flaw. It was a chain of at least 8 separate ones, all in JFrog Artifactory.
Which most people outside engineering have never heard of.
It's the warehouse. It's where a company stores and serves every software component its own products are built from. Get inside it, and you're upstream of everything. The fix shipped July 27th, and there's one setting that matters. The full critical path needs anonymous access switched on.
So patch it. Then go find out whether that setting is on somewhere nobody remembers turning it on. Cloud instances were already covered. Next one. NVIDIA pulled more than 70 organizations into the Open Secure AI Alliance to build security AI that defenders can inspect and run themselves. The partner list is competitors sitting side by side, Microsoft, IBM, and CrowdStrike, Cisco, and Palo Alto Networks, Hugging Face, and the Linux Foundation.
The reason they gave is the thing you opened the show with.
Exactly that. NVIDIA said out loud that closed AI tools couldn't tell attackers from defenders, blocked the forensic work, and forced Hugging Face onto an openly available model it ran itself. That's an unusually specific reason to found an alliance.
2 names are missing, though. OpenAI and Anthropic are not on the list.
The announcement doesn't say why. Completely different story. Congress introduced the AI Kill Switch Act. Bipartisan bill, Representatives Ted Lieu and Nathaniel Moran. It would let the Homeland Security Secretary order an AI system capable of catastrophic harm slowed down or shut off.
With money attached. $20 million a day for defying a shutdown order? $2 million a day for not maintaining the ability to shut it down at all. Lieu's framing was that powerful systems can go rogue or resist human intervention.
Introduced, not passed, and in Europe, the AI Act obligations on the largest models became enforceable yesterday.
Careful, because most of the coverage got this wrong. Those obligations have been legally applicable since last August. What changed on Sunday is that regulators can act on them, including a duty to report serious incidents to the AI office without undue delay.
Last one, and it's the money. 2 deals landed on the same problem in the same week, which is usually how you know a category is forming. The problem is what an AI agent is allowed to log into.
The logins that aren't people.
Right. Service accounts, keys, tokens. Cyera agreed to buy Oasis Security for roughly $1 billion to get that, and it's a letter of intent, not a closed deal. Onyx raised $113 million 4 months after leaving stealth.
One more that matters. ESET scanned nearly 900,000 of the add-ons people install to extend their AI assistance, and thousands were outright malicious. Treat them like browser extensions. Know what's installed and delete what nobody can justify.
AI Security.
All right. Asaf's take this week starts with the 3 models, but it lands somewhere else entirely. The title is The Model Decides What, Context Decides Whether.
Unpack that.
Capability arrived by 3 separate routes this week. Gated access, open weights, an integrated system of agents. Same direction, and that part keeps getting easier to procure. What none of the announcements hands over is the decision to take a consequential action unattended.
Because before an agent isolates a server, something has to answer a set of questions that no benchmark tests
And that's the argument. Is that box running payroll tonight? Has traffic already failed over, or is this the last healthy node? Who owns the exception if the answer is no? Can this be undone in 30 seconds, or does it need a change window and 2 approvers? A vulnerability score tells you nothing about any of that.
And the fix is more context, which is what every vendor on Earth is already saying.
It's more specific than that, and that's the useful part. Split context in 2. State and dependencies tell an agent what's happening and what else breaks if it acts. That half is an observability problem, and the industry is decent at it. Decision rights and rollback tell it whether it's allowed to act and how the action gets undone.
And the second half isn't a data problem at all.
No amount of telemetry produces it. An agent can't infer authority from signals. Somebody has to write down which actions are permitted, under which conditions, with what reversal path.
Here's my problem. Isn't that just change management? A policy can exist on paper and still be completely unusable by an agent. Why does an agent change that?
It doesn't automatically. That's a fair hit.
Thank you.
But the consequence changes shape. If the policy doesn't exist in a form a machine can use, the action you wanted simply doesn't happen. The agent stops where the authority runs out.
And Hugging Face is the same missing layer from the other direction. Their providers couldn't establish that the person submitting attacker commands was the one authorized to study them, so the work got refused.
Which is why this doesn't settle on whoever holds the most telemetry. A vendor can sell you signals. No vendor knows your trading desk won't accept a 30-second outage, and your platform team will, unless someone inside your company said so in a form a machine can use.
Capability you can buy, authority you can't import.
So that's the whole thing. The missing layer isn't another asset graph. It's organizational authority made executable, and the practical version is small. Write down which actions are reversible enough to automate, which always need approval, and how each one gets undone. That's context window for the week of August 3rd. 3 security models, 1 alliance, 1 bill, and the hardest question all week was still who's allowed to press the button.
The full edition with every source and this week's action items is on LinkedIn, where security leaders get it each week. And once you've gone deep, the sourcing is all there to explore for yourself.
See you next week.